everyone. It is Mrs. Cog Hill, and I have something I'm really excited about, and I wanted to show y'all what I decided to go with for my kitchen in the cabinets for the shelf liner. Now, of course, I haven't actually had a chance to put anything in it, so I don't know what the functionality of it is going to be in the end. But I did get the shelf liner that I ordered, that I read the reviews, and it seems like it may be my best option. Jason, of course, thinks that no shelf liner is going to be a good idea, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and do all of them, even though it's not, nothing's required. But I don't know what I'm going to use where as far as cabinets go. I don't necessarily know where my pots and pans are going to go, and I do want to have liner for sure where they're going to go because I don't want to mess up the bottom of my cabinets. But I did get started on this yesterday evening. Sun went down. I had to stay busy, so I got my shelf liner out and I started cutting on it, and I'll first show y'all some of my completed work and see what you guys think about the product that I've chose. Okay, so I went and I measured each one, and what I used was this versus this company also offers a product that has holes in it, and I don't particularly like that because I feel like if you have any debris or any kind of crumbs or anything like that, it's going to go through those holes and get in the bottom of my cabinet. Well, I'm trying to prevent having to do more work, so I think that the best solution was a solid product versus something with some holes in it. So that way I can just take the liner out, wipe it off, and then put it back in versus having to get my liner out and then vacuum or something in the bottom of the cabinet. So this product has little ridges on it, as you can see. And it's just textured, I guess, to prevent things from sliding. But what I first noticed is once I put it all in, cut it to the correct dimension, it's trying to curl on the edges. Now, I don't know if once I get my things in here, if it's gonna take care of that curled issue. Look at this one. And it may be that I just need to cut it a little shorter to make it lay down versus trying to curl it. I don't know. But these are some of the ones that I completed. And I went with the color that Jason chose. I didn't feel like it was fair for him to not have any say-so in it. So I let him pick the color, and he chose a gray, which I think looks wonderful. But these are the ones that I have completed. See that curl on the edge? I just don't know about that. I don't know how it's going to work out. And that was Jason's fears. He said it always gets bunched up and it always wants to, get out of sorts and it doesn't lay flat. So I'll see over time how this works, and I will do a follow-up. Okay, now something that I ordered that I am pleased with, just right out of right out of the gate, I can tell that I'm going to be pleased with this. It's not my faucet. My faucet's just sitting here. This is a sink liner, and it's rubber. I mean, it's a flimsy product, but once I put it in the bottom of my cabinet, it fits perfectly. They offered lots of different sizes, and I just simply measured mine and chose the one that would fit correctly for me. But look at it. Gidget, get in there and try it out, girl. It's got this little lip on the edge, which if we ever did have a leak or we had some, it seems like everybody wants to put their cleaning products right up under their sink. I don't know why that is, but it just seems like the thing to do. So you put your cleaning products down here, and if you ever have one that leaks out, you've got this liner down here that's going to catch all and not ruin the bottom of your cabinet. So I'm really pleased with that. I don't see how I can go wrong with the sink liner that I've chose. So here we are over at my island, and I am literally sitting on the floor with my Gidget, who's my Pomeranian, who loves me dearly, as you can tell, and she's going to help me show y'all this liner that I'm using and show you how I'm cutting it and then putting it in. Okay, so after all the reviews I read, I decided to go with something called Gorilla Grip Drawer Liner. It says it has a 10-year guarantee. I don't know how you go about sending that off and getting your money back or whatever if it didn't work out. But I'm using drawers, filing cabinets, kitchen shelves, and more. So what I did was I ordered brown for the stain cabinets. Well, it's kind of like a tan. It's a light color. I wanted that to kind of blend in with the wood. And then Jason chose the gray for the upper cabinets, which are the painted and the Cheating Heart by Benjamin Moore cabinets. So I haven't used any of the island, the product that I bought for the island. So I'm just gonna start here and show y'all what I've been doing. So first of all, I measure the depth of it, which this is in a standard 24 inch. Well, this cabinet is 24 inches, but when you take the lip off of it, which the liner doesn't need to go over that lip because I'll have doors right here. When you take the lip off of it, it measures 23 inches. So that means I have to make 2 cuts instead of just 1. So we have 23 inches deep and 22 inches wide on this one. Now, obviously I don't have any drawers yet, so I'm not working with drawers today. I'm just simply trying to get the ones that are completed done so I can be ahead of the game when the doors get put on and the drawers get installed. That's where having this big wide open floor plan comes in handy, because I've literally just been rolling it out on the floor and using a pencil to mark it and cutting it without having to worry about something to lay this out on. I've got a level, which I already happened to have in the house, so that made it easy from using from another project. So I'm gonna measure over 22 inches, which is right here. Put me a mark, and I'm gonna do the same thing at the top. So I'm gonna line up my marks at the top and the bottom, and I'm gonna draw me a line to make that straight. Now here's something I do not do very well, and that is cutting a straight line. But just do the best you can. And this, I will say that this product has been fairly easy to cut. All I've found myself doing, instead of going up and down with my scissors, is just sliding. And it makes for a very easy cut. Easy. All right, so then I flip it over because I don't need that full 24 inches. I only need 23. So I flip it over because there's these pre-made lines on the product already, to where I kind of use as a guide. And all I'm doing is kind of marking the closest raised up line. So I don't have to make that line all the way across again because my line's already there. So I turn it sideways. Now I'm not necessarily going to slide it this time. I have to cut it because it's different on this side being a bumpy edge versus being a smooth. But you can see it's fairly easy to cut. Trying to stay on that line because I don't want crooked cabinet liners. Voila. Well, I think I turned that the wrong way. Not this way. And voila. So, time will tell as to if we like the liners or not, but I do feel like that I need something in the bottom. Even though this cabinet, which is our island, is not painted, it's still a wood that I don't want to get any kind of water stains on it. I just don't want it messed up. And not to say this is going to prevent anything from happening, but I think it will help, most definitely. Another thing that I wanted to show y'all is a lot of people, when we showed our kitchen, said that they had never heard of a microwave drawer. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When we started looking at appliances, I hadn't either. I've only ever known of a countertop version and an installed above the range that also functions as the vent hood. But our space, the way it was designed, called for the microwave to be in the pantry. Well, I found out about the microwave drawer, and we ended up having to make a few changes in our plans because the initial plan called for a range to go right here in the center. We were going to do a 48-inch range with a double oven. Well, once we got to looking at the prices of the range with the double oven, we realized that that was going to blow our budget. So our second plan was to put in a double wall oven, which I had to have the 2 ovens. That was something that I required in my new kitchen because I do like to cook. And I cook a lot of things at the same time on 2 different temperatures. So that's why I needed the double oven option. So when we went and purchased our appliances, we purchased a double oven that had a regular oven on the bottom, but on the top, it was a microwave convection oven. And so that meant that everything would be right here. There would be no need for any other appliance anywhere else except for the cooktop. Well, things didn't go as planned. We ordered our appliances back in November of 2021, and here we were ready to move in, and that oven that we had ordered was still on back order. They had no ETA on when that oven would be available, and the appliance salesman told me if I could find one somewhere to go ahead and buy it. So what we did was we found a double oven, 2 full-size ovens, but that left me without a microwave. So without putting it in the pantry, which at this point I kind of felt like I didn't want to take up my pantry space to put a microwave in there, I found the microwave drawer. And not only did we find the microwave drawer, we found it on Facebook Marketplace. And it was a couple had purchased this for their home and found out a little bit later that it did go with the remodel that they had done, so they were unable to use it. They had it stored away in the box, brand new, with the paperwork, never opened. So we were able to purchase this at a substantial savings and put it in our island, which I think is going to work out perfectly because it's kind of in an inconspicuous place. It doesn't look like an eyesore, and the functionality of it, I just used it for the first time this week. And we still don't have the plug installed in the island, but that's coming. So I thought the whole time I had been using this bottom right here to pull it open, which I thought, that's crazy. But it didn't have power on it, so I couldn't tell that, it was electric to open and close. Lo and behold, it has this little button, and all you do is mash open and close. So over the last few days was the first time we used it. Jason said, hey, you want me to plug that microwave in? And he used a heavy-duty extension cord and plugged it in for me, so I did not have to go back and forth to Mama's to reheat something. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's awesome that it has the button, and I don't have to use... I was thinking that's an awful long way to go to pull open and close. But like I said, it didn't have any power on it, so I didn't realize it was a simple button to open and close it. So I'm real happy with the way that the mistakes worked out. So we didn't really know what we're going to do about countertops. We love the idea of the marble. There were a lot of conflicting factors when we talked to people about the marble and the softness of it and the ability to chip and easy to stain. And while that did not deter us away from the marble, the availability did. Jason and Marycarl went to an IMAX movie over this past week, and I was able to run over to the place that we were going to get our installer recommended that we go to this particular stone company, pick out our product, and he in turn picks it up for us and does the work. So I went over to take a look and make sure we'd made the right decision on our marble, and lo and behold, they only had one slab. So I was disappointed. Jason was at the movies. I called the installer. He told me of another place to go and see if they had it, in which I did. They did not have it. So we were literally back to square one, which worked out in our favor, because that meant I needed to take a second look and figure out if we had any alternatives in mind. So when the movie was over, I told Jason, I said, you're not going to believe this, but we got to go back. We got to look at countertops again. So we browsed back through the whole selection, and we ended up finding something that we had never even looked at initially. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about explaining it. I think that you'll just have to see it and decide for yourself, but I will tell you it's not marble. It's something totally different. It's not white, which we had initially picked out was more of a white marble. So this has got a lot more color. The countertop installer came yesterday. He came yesterday evening, and he was able to take measurements of all the countertop and tell me that they are more than likely going to install it next week. So you want to talk about happy, because right now we have a desktop that we were using at the old farm. It was literally a desk, and it's long, but it serves a purpose to set things, to have our cooking ware out. But I still am having to go next door to Mama's to cook because I don't have anywhere to prepare anything. So next week it looks like we're going to get countertops, and I'm so thankful to have Vision Granite out of Maplesville, Alabama come and, well, not only did they come and measure, but they did a lot in the helping us decide what product was best for us. Did a lot in showing it to us and determining what would go best. So we are really thankful to have found those guys to do the install for us. So countertops next week. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is the reason we went to Birmingham initially was because I found a sink on Facebook Marketplace, and it sounds like a broken record, Facebook Marketplace. But y'all, if you have Facebook and you have something in mind you're looking for, I don't care what it is, take a look, because you might find exactly what you're looking for at a lot less expense. And that's what happened with us, is I'd been looking on Facebook Marketplace, as well as Jason, for quite an extended period of time for a sink that would go outside. And by outside, I'm going to show you what I mean. So here I am. I just exited the front door, and I'm going to take you around to the side of our house. When we constructed the plans to the house, we knew that we spend a lot of time outside. So we had the plumbing area to put an outdoor sink out here. And this is our side porch. It goes the length of the house, and Jason does a lot of grilling out here, but we also are going to do a lot of gardening, meaning the potager garden's going to go in the back. We have the fruit orchard over here on the side. So what better way to take care of washing those vegetables and fruits and cleaning up after a day of grilling or evening of grilling than with a sink? And so we knew what we wanted. We wanted a farmhouse style sink. Now, there are different types of farmhouse sinks. The one that comes to my mind is the one like we have in our kitchen, which is with the apron on the front. Well, this is more of the antique style farmhouse sink. Ideally, we wanted something with the sides on it so we could set things down and not have to worry about a countertop. The sink be the countertop versus building something. So look at this. Now it's a little dirty because it did get some rainwater in it, but look at this find. And it did come with the faucet. So it's almost, it's a little over 6 foot long, which sounds enormous. But I think for the amount of space that we have over here, it's going to fit perfectly, because we're going to be able to go from one end to the other and fill in this void, as well as make it a useful area for the entire family. So I'm excited. We even picked up the wood yesterday to do the framing, and all we're going to do is something very simple. We're going to set 4x4 posts and build a band around it. And then, y'all, this thing is heavy. I don't know how heavy it is, but I do know it's going to require some tractor work. No matter how heavy it is, it's still going to require tractor work. But I know it's going to require the tractor to pick it up and put it up on that stand that we do build. But luckily we have enough area here that we can kind of slide in and make that happen. But I am so happy to have found this wonderful sink that has not one, but 2 sinks and 2 countertop areas. And I just wanted to kind of show y'all what my plans were about my kitchen cabinets. I'm ready to cook. I'll tell you that. I'm ready to cook. And I'm ready to have countertops. I'm ready for everything to be put together and put to use, but one step at a time. So can't get ahead of myself. I just have to realize it's all going to come together, and I'm excited to show it to y'all.